gentlemen, it's the Mahabharat of all elections. The first polls after Operation Sindoor and one that was held under the shadow of Delhi's 10/11 terror attack, at least the second phase. It's the final day before the verdict in the nerve center of politics, and Times Now has its finger on the pulse of one of the most spicy elections of all times, these elections of Bihar. While fear and fakery over vote chori was the weaponized version of the opposition's attack, appeasement turned into guided missiles, targeting specific demographies and communities. The exit polls have been predicting an NDA sweep, except a few outliers, but the chemistry and the arithmetics may just trump the trends. Today, we will focus on these 5 factors, which will be make or break for both alliances. People who tune into this show on Times Now will know that we always keep the numbers, the analysis, and the results in mind. Times Now's coverage tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. will focus on what's on the cards, what's happening, which are the swing seats to look at, and how the tide can change. Because it's not done till it is done, and there's always scope for every exit poll to turn wrong. We will be watching out for these 5 critical X factors of the Bihar elections. Can the magic 87 swing seats spoil NDA's equation? Remember, of these, 15 had a victory margin of less than 2,000 votes in 2020 polls. 9 had a margin of less than 1,000 votes. 87 such seats will hold the cards. Also, will the 9 Bellwether seats be the best indicators? We'll give you the details of which these Bellwether seats are all about. Will the minority seats still stick to the Mahagatbandhan, or is there a new story, a Owaisi conundrum that is opening up once again, raising its head, making the Mahagatbandhan nervous? Will Owaisi upset Tejaswi's apple cart? That is the big bet on for tomorrow. Will RJD cross the Yadav yardstick, or will the friendly fights in the Mahagatbandhan be their nemesis? Will the record turnout of 67% throw up a surprise in the poll results? What about the Mahila votes? Take a look at that, and we begin with the poll of polls, just to tell you what is already predicted, but what could change. First, let's give you the poll of poll numbers here on your screens. But ladies and gentlemen, before that, let me pull up the overall voter turnout and what the women votes are all about. If we can have those numbers on the screen here, we'll tell you 66.91% voter turnout for Bihar, 65.08 in phase 1 and 68.76%, especially because this was the phase in which the Simanchal, the minority clusters, went to vote. 66.91%, upsetting the record all-time high voter turnout since 1951, ladies and gentlemen, and that should set your thinking caps out and on your head. I'm introducing my panel this evening. Joining me tonight on the show, JVC Shriram. He's looked at the numbers, number cruncher, pollster, all errors are his. All successes are mine.
Yes.
That is what we operate on. So thank you very much, JVC, for allowing me. Sometimes I just love being the woman anchor because you allow me to get away with blue murder. And I'm saying that. Thank you very much for joining me, my esteemed panel here in the studio. Smita Prakash, editor ANI, Anand Ranganathan, scientist today, or political scientist, author, or just commentator.
As I say, never mix politics with science, because then all you will end up with is political science.
All right. Sabah Naqvi, senior journalist. We've done many elections together. Sabah Naqvi, you're looking at these results. Are you expecting poll results to go the exit poll ways? Ya kahani mein twist hai.
I think it's closer than what the exit polls show.
Okay.
Closer.
And Akshat also joining us, the young man, the young spokesperson of the youngest party in the country, Jan Suraj Party. Thank you very much for joining me. Also joining me tonight is Sanjay Jha, Congress leader. We have Rohan Gupta, BJP national spokesperson. My friend Waris Pathan, who's the angriest young man in recent times of the AIMIM. We also had Subodh Mehta of the RJD joining us on this show tonight. But I'm going back straight to the numbers. Turnout. Do you think the turnout holds a key?
I don't think turnout holds a key. Basically because the denominator got reduced through the SIR initiative, as a result of which the final figure is going to anyway go up. If it had crossed 70%, then yes, because 65 lakh voters were deleted. So obviously from 57 to 67 was expected. Where is it now? 66.91. So I don't think turnout is going to be that big a factor which is being played out. Okay,
then let me pull out the next number, which is the women voters, always more than the male voters. Men at 62.8%, women at 71.6%. Does this hold a key?
Yes. Because 3,000 voters approximately in every assembly constituency, women have voted 3,000 more than men, which we are talking about spread over. Maybe there are few constituencies where men would have voted, but 3,000. So probably the women-centric schemes could give a little bit of bump, not the way Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh gave, because that reason I'll tell you a little later, but could have given a little bump for NDA.
JVC's perfected the game. He's holding up the suspense for later because he knows suspense sells, a thriller sells. Smita Prakash, women voters, do you give it credence that their numbers being higher than male voters can make all the schemes come true, especially schemes that were announced just before the model code of conduct?
So let me begin on a note of dissent. I'm sorry, JVC, I really don't believe that it's a mild bump. I think NDA is going to benefit, especially JDU, is going to benefit hell of a lot with the women's schemes. It's not just the 10,000 rupee scheme, but everything which dates back, you know, almost like 10 years, 15 years, even 20 years of Nitish government, which began with Poshak, which began with cycles, which began with Sharab Bandi. So many of these schemes which women feel safer, more empowered, and I think that is going to impact quite a bit on JDU performing far more, far better than what was earlier thought of when everybody said.
Women are caste agnostic?
I think that to some extent they will vote on the schemes which have benefited them when some of them have taken that for granted, in the sense that jo bhi aayega wo ye band nahi kar sakta. Once you begin with something which is going to help them, they feel that it's
ever
not
stopped the 5 kilo ration.
Correct.
You know, and even this government hasn't. But Sabah Naqvi.
So one of the reasons for the high voter turnout, usually people will say that it's people want change, or people are, so one section of society is very mobilized. One of the reasons which I'm told is also people want to ensure after the voter revision that their vote is there.
Yes.
That has also engaged them to go there. Yes. Also in Champaran district, which we will focus on tomorrow, a rumor went around, these are reporters who are telling me because I had traveled there, a rumor went around that if you are a beneficiary of this scheme, you must vote because you may not get the other blocks again, among some women. Now even some of those women did not, it's not that they all fully believed it, but they didn't want to take a chance. So I'm just putting...
And nothing works better than fear factor. Anand Ranganathan, you will agree on that. डरा दो लोगों को, लोग वोट कर देंगे.
That is always the case with politicians. But let me just say this. You know, sometimes the effect of data precedes the publication of data itself. Now, just today and yesterday, two very important data points have come out on unemployment and on inflation. And of course, they weren't there when people in Bihar were voting. But Bihar unemployment is lower than the national average. And the inflation right now is the lowest ever, 0.3%. 0.3%. So obviously there is, with all the schemes that Smita was talking about, there is more money in the pocket, indirectly as well, through lower inflation. So, you know, that will reflect ultimately in the voting.
GST cuts also you want
GST
to
cuts
bring
as
in?
well, yeah, matlab sab pura Diwali.
Pura bonanza hai. I don't know. I hope more elections every time. You know, this one nation, one election ka ek drawback hai. If there are no elections around the corner, boss, जेब में पैसे नहीं होंगे.
One little point which Sabha was making about, you know, that the word got around. Many of the reporters on the ground were saying that in the second round, these Jivika Didis, they went around door to door telling the women, get out and vote.
Yeah.
They did that in the first round as well. In the second round, it was all the more to say that you have to cast your vote because you are exercising your franchise. Some people saw that as influencing to certain extent, that, you know, they're telling them to vote for a particular party. It was that if you want to be a beneficiary of the democratic exercise, then you need to do your duty towards the democratic exercise too. It depends on how you want to interpret it.
Depends on how we want to look at it, but clearly the women voter turnout does have a bearing. Let's go to the next data point. Look at the poll of polls number that we have on the screen. At the moment, 145 to 164 is the average of all the top polls right here. Access My India, CNX, Today's Chanakya, Metrise, Chanakya Strategies, PMark and Poll Diary. You haven't put JVC's numbers?
I think everything would be there. Poll of polls would be...
Okay, these are the other poll of polls. We've given a 135 to 150.
Yeah.
This is higher, on the higher side, and the Mahagatbandhan is at 74 to 93. This is where it is stacked. But if you see, the conservative one is only My Axis India, 121 to 141. The others are all in the region. Poll Diary to 184 to 209, which probably...
Biggest outlier.
It's the biggest outlier. I don't know Poll Diaries who, but certainly this is the outlier. The others all in the region of 150, 145, that kind of a region. So everybody giving a clear majority. Only Access My India is closer than anybody else. That is the poll of poll results. But JVC, you have an ace up your sleeve. Suspense.
No, yes.
Where is the suspense coming from?
Access My India, if he is giving 121 to 141, he is giving due to one reason. That is, he says Yadav, 6% of Yadavs have only voted for NDA. If 6% of Yadavs have voted for NDA, let me tell you, Mahagatbandhan is coming to power. There is no way, with 90% of Yadavs voting for Mahagatbandhan, no way you can stop RJD from becoming the single largest party, and Mahagatbandhan will cross 122.
You could be the
All
largest
right, so
single party.
let's take a look at the swing
RJD
seats. We'll
being
come
the-
to the caste combinations in just a bit. But let me look at swing seats. According to JVC's exit poll, there are 51 seats for the NDA and 30 seats for the Mahagatbandhan currently in the swing seats, and others have 5 seats. Which are these swing seats and how are you describing?
See, the seats which have been held by Mahagatbandhan in 2020, swinging towards NDA, is 51. And major beneficiary is Nitish Kumar, JDU.
So you are saying Nitish Kumar in favor of NDA.
It's moving.
Seats that have been held by the
Mahagatbandhan.
Mahagatbandhan, they will get 51 of those.
Yes.
And they will lose 30 seats which go
Exactly,
this way.
exactly. This is basically because of the local anti-incumbency which is prevailing against the sitting MLAs.
Well,
And that is the
that's
reason.
a very interesting data point,
I'd
and
like to know which seats these are. We'll wait till tomorrow.
Yes.
You have to wait till
but there are, according to JVC's calculation, Smita, there are 51 seats. They will garner from this side, bring it to theirs, and lose 30 to them, but they are definitely carrying the advantage. And these are 51 of the 87 Mahagatbandhan seats which they are going to get to their side.
Share the name.
Yeah, it is there. It is there. The list is there. Yeah.
The list is there. We'll put out the list as well. But do you agree that if this kind of a change happens, local anti-incumbency, choice of candidate, Also, if there are repetitions of candidates, there could be anti-incumbents.
So I would just think that this could happen if Owaisi doesn't get any seat and if Prashant Kishore performs less than par. If that happens and the RJD becomes the single largest party, then the MGP could benefit hell of a lot. But what I'm seeing is that according to all the polls, the Congress is performing below par. That they are not even getting 50% of what they have contested. So if that is the case, then they are pulling down Tejasvi, because he has single-handedly worked for his party and for the Mahagatbandhan. A completely one-man show as compared to the NDA, which had huge, they had the BJP machinery and everybody.
They have the full army deployed on the ground, and Sanjay Jha, well, everybody feels that Rahul Gandhi let Tejasvi Yadav down. But before I come to that, let's get you some breaking news coming in. Today in Sasaram, there was a huge cry that was made that empty EVM boxes are being replaced. This is being done. RJD candidates even staged a dharna that these EVMs are not secure. Big hullabaloo in Sasaram. And when it was checked out, ladies and gentlemen, I want to play out the video. Because there was a dharna, it was all checked out. In full view of the candidates, जितने भी ट्रंक अंदर जा रहे थे, सारे खाली थे. So this whole thing about, tampering is being done, more EVMs are being replaced and now BJP will win the votes. Total humbug. सुबोध मेहता जी, ये हर बार शेर आया बोलेंगे अगर आप, और फिर वो empty trunks निकलेंगे, तो लोग seriously कैसे लेंगे?
No, Navika ji, I think you should take it very seriously. Primarily because, the voters, their will is there in that Rohtas, the polling counting station. And when they saw that there was a truck inside the campus, they came out and they, filmed the video, and then they even called the police. Now the district magistrate, she came in front and she argued that it was an empty box. But my only two humble submission is that if that was an empty box, can the DM show the receipt or any slip from where that is coming from and who was the person who sent those empty boxes and for what? First. Second is that does DM has any CCTV camera recording where they can show that when this truck entered into the campus and when the people called the police. So there is a difference of timing also. I think the district magistrate, she was not able to convey this larger message. So the suspicion is always there looking back to 2020.
ये empty suspicion रोज सुबह उठ के क्यों होता है? आपको ये सवाल जनता जानना चाहती है. कभी ट्रंक चोरी, कभी वोट चोरी, कभी EVM चोरी. रोहन गुप्ता, is this born out of insecurity or is this really about कि भाई पहले से ground तय कर लो, बहाने ढूंढ लो, because exit polls are there. They even went to the extent of saying exit polls are BJP sponsored.
नविका जी, एक चीज तय है, कल शाम को 5 बजे के करीब चुनाव आयोग के दफ्तर के बाहर महागठबंधन का ठेला लगने वाला है. रिजल्ट मैं आपको अभी से ये एग्जिट पोल की मैं आपको एग्जिट पोल दे रहा हूं, बिकॉज दे नो दैट दे हैव टू प्रिपेयर द ग्राउंड. व्हाट इज दिस वोट चोरी कैंपेन ऑल अबाउट? इट इज देयर इनसिक्योरिटी. दे नो दैट दे आर लूजिंग दिस इलेक्शन badly. I have been here for last 5 months, Navika ji. One thing is very clear. I have seen multiple elections. Please, I was not speaking in between. Let me complete.
It was my turn, you came in between.
I will not. I never spoke in between. Let me complete.
That's not true.
Just give me 2 minutes.
मैंने ट्रंक भरकर आपको टाइम दिया था सुबोध मेहता जी. अब खाली ट्रंक वाला टाइम मैं रोहन गुप्ता जी को दे रही हूँ.
Ji, Navika ji, most important thing is this was the first election where there is no visible anti-incumbency, and that's why RJD became victim of Congress campaign of vote chori, which never resonated on ground. आप 20 साल से ऑपोजिशन में हैं, आपके पास एंटी इनकम्बेंसी का इशू है, आप उसको उठाते। आपको वोट चोरी का मुद्दा उठाना पड़ रहा है। दैट इज द प्रूफ दैट यू डोंट हैव एनी इशू टचिंग द पीपल।
That's unfair on Tejasvi. Tejasvi did not pick that mudda up. Only Rahul Gandhi picked the mudda up and then vanished. Then vanished during elections. And Sanjay Jha, people are wondering why Rahul Gandhi, maybe he was not interested in Bihar, but why did he spoil Tejasvi's election is the question many people are asking today.
Navika, let me tell you, Rahul Gandhi or the Congress's campaign of vote chori was not just the Congress's campaign, although Rahul was the fountainhead of the campaign. It is an opposition campaign against a corrupt electoral practice engineered by the Election Commission, and you will see the ramifications of that campaign by tomorrow evening when the results are out. Let me tell you, all those people who are saying that vote chori is not having an impact are forgetting that it created the environment that basically made the people of Bihar wake up to the reality that they were likely to be disenfranchised. And there are 2 pointers that I wish to make. A lot of people are talking about the women getting votes, etc. I come from Bihar. Let me tell you, I grew up in my initial years in Bihar. Bihar.
You are a Bihari in Sobo.
Yeah, but but let me tell you something, Navika, in all seriousness and deadly earnest, Bihar remains more caste-centric than other states. So if anybody believes that Mr. Modi's attempt to do this electoral bribery by suddenly discovering that women needed rupees 10,000 bucks is not going to make the women kind of give away their respect.
Oh, so you are saying that women should not go for schemes of making themselves independent earners standing on their feet. They should continue to remain fixated with the caste conundrum. Is that what he's saying? Is that what he's saying, Smita Prakash?
You know, many people who come on TV channels and live lives of plenty don't realize how much 10,000 can help. Just a small anecdote I'll say. One of the reporters I spoke to said that one lady said, "Jo 10,000 rupees mile, मैंने एक बछड़ा लिया, a male bachra, and her daughter-in-law bought a female one. So not only are they going to get milk for their children, they are going to have for next generation is generational wealth. जो हम 10,000 रुपए ना एक रेस्टोरेंट में कुछ लोग खर्च कर देंगे एक दिन में, that lady has not just got it for 1 month, she's got it for generations. She is making a family secure. So please let's not take it down.
I want to talk about the vote chori campaign.
All right, Sanjay, I'm coming to you.
Beyond the election, I believe
because 1 minute, because the lady who spoke before me tried to be very sly and make a cheap innuendo.
She made a point into it. She made a point which she has full right to make.
Let me answer.
Okay.
The fundamental point is that the Prime Minister and the BJP and the JDU are insulting the women of Bihar and their independence and self-respect.
And you were actually putting them on a pedestal when you said that they don't get bribed and they think about caste. They don't think about Jivika Didi. They think about caste. आप उनकी इज्जत अफजाई कर रहे थे. कमाल है.
I don't think we should decide what the women of Bihar. We will soon know tomorrow. But I want to talk about vote chori. Beyond it as an electoral campaign, I believe the vote chori campaign had an impact in even what happened in the Supreme Court. Otherwise, Aadhaar was not going to be included in the documents.
Yes.
We have to give it that. So the whole campaign did have that. I actually believe there was an error in Tejasvi's part. He should have also kept that campaign going, but he didn't.
Sabha, he's already yesterday's press conference and today the RJD has said that if we find vote chori, you can be certain a Nepal-like situation is going to happen in India.
Absolutely, Gen Z. That's what they are saying, and we have that soundbite. But before I go to that soundbite, if my director can line that soundbite up, I'm going to the minority cluster because I see my friend Waris Pathan getting extremely agitated कि भाई ओवैसी जी ने क्या चमत्कार किया ये क्यों नहीं बता रहे. ओवैसी जी पर आ रही हूं and let's go to the minority cluster. The NDA, JVC, you want to explain?
Exactly.
NDA 34, are they going to win these or do they?
They're leading in 34.
Minority
cluster. So let me make one point here, Navika ji. Bihar politics is all about Kamandal and Mandal. when the minority population starts to go up 25, 27, 28%, caste doesn't matter, Kamandal comes into picture. When the minority population starts to dip from 12, 8, 5, it becomes Mandal. I'll give you an example. Kishanganj, which has got 62% Muslim population. BJP gets 33 to 35% and comes second. Sweetie Singh has been fighting there, and they do not bother about Yadav, Kori, Kurmi, nothing. Jatav, nothing. Vote.
The Hindu vote consolidates versus.
Shahpur.
So out of 56.
In Shahpur, there are 28% Brahmins, 25% Yadavs, 5% Muslims. RJD wins with the Brahmin candidate. Now understand Kamandal and Mandal. So that is the reason why minority cluster, NDA leads.
Well, NDA leading in 34 out of the 56 minority seats.
Cluster.
20% and above.
I see. Okay.
If it has Muslim population of more than 20%, we bunch it together in a minority, predominantly minority, where they can impact and influence the voting patterns. That's how we've classified it. 56 seats in Bihar out of the 243 in that cluster. BJP currently leading in 34 of those, Mahagatbandhan in 14, BJP in 23, JDU in 9, LJP 1, and RLM is 1.
Snehalata Kushwa.
Exactly. Now, if the BJP is also leading in minority class.
Bihar has an 18% minority, if I'm correct. Then that's all of Bihar then. How do you...
No, there are pockets. 62%.
There are pockets.
I just have a... Okay, carry on.
There are pockets where it is more, and there are pockets where it is less, and that's how it has been classified scientifically based on the population of those constituencies. That is what. And the AIMIM is likely to get 3 out of 56 in this. Last time the RJD actually did a smart one, or rather an unethical one on the AIMIM. This time, Owaisi paying back, pulling out 3, dividing the vote. Is that the reason why they are down to 14? BJP is up to 34. काम हो गया वारिस पठान जी, ओवैसी जी का मैसेज पहुंच गया, क्योंकि आज सुबह I saw the tweet that was put out by your Delhi chief Shoaib Jamai Saab, and he said, if you had not spawned us the manner in which you did, you would still be ruling the minority cluster. Waris Pathan, I want to ask you, delivered and dusted?
Well, Navika, to those who rejected our proposal for alliance, ठुकरा के मेरा प्यार मेरा इंतकाम देखेगी. We had told them that we'll be contesting, and see, your exit polls are, I don't believe they are not exact polls. Your exit poll came at 6 p.m. wherein the polling was going on till 7:30. So I don't believe that, but let me ensure you in Simanchal itself, we will be getting +8, between 8 to 10 seats. This for sure, because people have voted their heart out. In Kishanganj, the polling was more than 78%, Balrampur more than 76%. So people have voted for us, and we'll be getting good seats. And we have already stated, we told them, okay, come, let us join an alliance, give us six seats. We were demanding only 6 seats, but they did ignore us. Whatever they might be having in the mind, but they did not share this with us, so we've contested, and I am sure that we will be getting maximum number of seats this time by winning. And whatever the data collected by your people, my information from the candidates and the local people, I was there for 14 days with Osad Owaisi, and we went everywhere in Simanchal, and as per my information, we are getting not less than 8 seats in Simanchal.
Well done. Waris Pathan Saab, I'm with you. Before every result, before every result in school, I also told my mother the same thing कि मैं first आने वाली हूँ. वो result के बाद अलग बात है. 2 बार डांट क्यों खाना है parents से? So you tell before the result that I'm coming first. After the result, the reality everybody knows. But Subodh Mehta, I want to show you the 2020 number for Asaduddin Owaisi and what is predicted. 5 seats he got, and these were the constituency. And this time,
Jogi had the Sarfraz Alam, who had been a RJD MP, JDU MLA
with the Jan Suraj party. Now Bahadurganj, AIMIM.
Winning this time. He's not winning this time.
He's got a 0 to 1 as a chance.
It's gone. They came and said sorry.
Yes. So
0 to 1.
3 seats where Asaduddin Owaisi may have cut the Mahagatbandhan votes. And I want to ask you, Subodh Mehta ji, would it have been better if the Mahagatbandhan had Asaduddin Owaisi with them? At least consolidation would have happened?
Navka ji, after knowing fully that Owaisi Sahib is working on behalf of Bharatiya Janata Party, and Owaisi Sahib party is putting the religion in front of the masses like the BJP, and that was the reason why the Rashtriya Janata Dal, who believes in the constitutional values, who believes in the constitutional values, is not aligned with the Owaisi Sahib. And Owaisi Sahib MLA.
सुबोध मेहता जी, आपने शायद हैदराबाद की बात नहीं सुनी. जुबली हिल्स में वो कांग्रेस को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. संजय झा के दोस्त हैं, राहुल गांधी के दोस्त हैं वहां पर. बीजेपी पिक्चर में कहां से आ गई? सबा नकवी.
I had asked Tejasvi about this, and he gave a reply which I put out because it was for I put out, and it went viral because Owaisi picked it up. So I said, आप सब secular forces को साथ लाने की बात कर रहे हैं, तो आप ओवैसी साहब ने कहा हमने खत लिखा. Why did you not include him? He said हम extremists के साथ नहीं करते हैं. तो मैंने कहा आप उन्हें extremist बुला रहे हैं, तो उन्होंने फिर से कहा हाँ हम extremist के साथ align नहीं करते हैं. That clip was picked up.
अगर वो बीजेपी
The point I am calling Owaisi Sahib an extremist. अरे मैं खत्म तो कर दूं. उसका असर हुआ.
Muslim community.
आप थोड़ा शांत हो जाइए. I am not calling him. I am quoting.
All right. पर क्या करें? आप तो उनको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं ना. आप हैदराबाद में सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. आपस में शॉर्ट करिए ना. But सवाल.
I want to finish this point. उसमें point ये था कि उन्होंने तेजस्वी ने एक बार नहीं कहा, दूसरी बार कहा, इसलिए मुझे लगा this is important. But the point here that I know that some Muslims did not like it. Why are you calling him an extremist? But there was this issue about Mukesh Sahni also कि ये तो उधर चला जाएगा, आप हमें नहीं बना रही. ये सब हुआ है, लेकिन मुझे जो बताया गया, अब मैं फर्स्ट फेज के I left on the day of the first phase कि सेकंड फेज में इन इलाकों में तो एक तरफा वोट पड़ा है, ज्यादातर लोग बता रहे हैं, but who knows? मैं आपको बता रहा हूं.
And high percentage, but I have breaking news coming in at this moment. My colleague Saket joining me from Patna, where Tejasvi Yadav is in a huddle with his party men, looking at what really is likely to happen. This is a virtual meet ahead of result day. All his candidates in their own constituencies, a virtual conference happening at Tejasvi's behest, and all of them are looking and strategizing कि कल क्या करना है. साकेत, आज पहले ही स्टेटमेंट आ गया है सुनील सिंह जी का. इससे पहले कि आपके पास आऊं, पहले वो स्टेटमेंट प्ले कर देती हूं जहां नेपाल टाइप ऑफ प्रोटेस्ट की बात हो रही है. पहले सुन लेते हैं. साकेत, आती हूं.
जो कुकृत आपने वर्ष 2020 में किया कि 4-4 घंटा आपने काउंटिंग रोकवा दिया, 4-4 घंटा किसी को बारे में किसी को कुछ पता नहीं था, वो काम अगर इस बार होगा तो या तो मेरा उम्मीदवार बाहर आएगा या वो जो रिटर्निंग अफसर होगा वो बाहर आएगा. पूरी जनता सड़क पर आएगी और वो दृश्य देखने को मिलेगा जो आपको नेपाल में देखने को मिला है. और पूरी जनता इस चीज से आशंकित है कि ये बेईमान लोग जिस चुनाव आयोग के बारे में साख पर उसका बट्टा लग चुका है, जितने रिटर्निंग अफसर हैं, किस तरह से उनकी पोस्टिंग की गई है, तो यह पूरी जनता आशंकित है कि कहीं ना कहीं आप बेईमानी कीजिएगा तो आपको भी नेपाल का दृश्य यहां पर देखने को मिलेगा.
साकेत, मैं पूछना चाहती हूं, ये बयान इंपॉर्टेंट क्यों है? ये शख्स जो ये कह रहे हैं सुनील सिंह, ये लालू प्रसाद यादव के कितने करीबी हैं? और ये जब कह रहे हैं कि या तो रिटर्निंग ऑफिसर बाहर आएगा या कैंडिडेट, तो ये एक तरह से वायलेंस का इंडिकेशन है. वायलेंस का इंडिकेशन है नेपाल जैसी सिचुएशन का. ये शख्स कौन है और व्हाई शुड वी टेक हिम सीरियसली?
देखिए, बेहद करीबी हैं लालू यादव और राबड़ी देवी के सुनील सिंह, और उनके द्वारा ये बात कही जा रही है। और कल भी जब एग्जिट पोल आया उसके दूसरे दिन सुबह सुबह तेजस्वी यादव प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करते हैं और उन्होंने भी कहीं ना कहीं इशारों में ये बातें साफ की थी कि जो उनके कार्यकर्ता है वो बूस्टअप रहे और किसी भी तरह की अगर गड़बड़ी हो तो वहां पर जो कार्यकर्ता है वो मोर्चा संभाले, वहां पर प्रोटेस्ट करे। इस तरह के जो संकेत हैं वो तेजस्वी यादव की तरफ से भी दिया गया। और आज देखिए, सुनील सिंह जो बेहद करीबी है लालू परिवार के, लालू यादव के और राबड़ी देवी के, उनके तरफ से ये बातें कही जा रही है कि जिस तरह से नेपाल में, श्रीलंका में, बांग्लादेश में स्थिति दिखी, वही स्थिति बिहार की सड़कों पर दिखेगी अगर नतीजे जो है वो गलत आते हैं। अब आप समझिए कि अगर चुनाव के नतीजे इस पक्ष में नहीं आए महागठबंधन के, तो अगर इस तरह की स्थिति पैदा की जाएगी तो एक राजनीतिक दल के तरफ से उनकी क्या भूमिका होगी, उनकी क्या जिम्मेदारी बनती है, ये बड़ा सवाल उठ रहा है। और जब से ये एग्जिट पोल आया है उसके बाद से इस तरह के बयान आ रहे हैं। कल रात तेजस्वी यादव ने भी अपने तमाम जो जिला अध्यक्ष हैं,
बात आप कह रहे हैं, सुनील सिंह का ये कहना, तेजस्वी यादव का इशारा और लालू जी और राबड़ी जी के ये करीबी नेता। सुबोध मेहता, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूं, क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं कि या रिटर्निंग ऑफिसर बाहर आएगा या हम, इसका मतलब क्या है? वायलेंस का इंडिकेशन, नेपाल जैसी सिचुएशन, आप लोग इस बात को एनार्की और इसको मजाक समझते हैं?
Navka ji, you have to contextualize the whole, the factual words that he has uttered. What he said that in 2020 there was 4 hours continuously the counting was stopped, and in the night the result was declared when our candidates they were out of the this counting booth. He said that our candidates should not come out, and he should be very sure that he should come out with the certificate and he should not come like 2020.
Akshat coming in here. Akshat, is this simple as कि बाहर नहीं आना, अंदर रहना, और is it returning officer बाहर आएगा या हमारा कैंडिडेट बाहर आएगा?
This is nothing different. We should not get startled by what he has made, the statements which he has made, because this has been the reality of RJD. They have always been I think the poster boys of Gundaraj, and now they are trying to hide themselves and take the cushion of Gen Z for justifying their defeat. Because where were you when the Yuva of Bihar was beaten on the streets, the aspirants specifically, when they came to protest? Where were you when the infrastructure deficiencies in Bihar were made out public by the people of social media? And now you are trying to convincingly hide yourself behind the Gen Z and come out as a site of protest for the kind of the result which you are going to expect tomorrow.
Indication of Gundaraj even before the result day, Anand Ranganathan?
They're trying to hide it. But if you don't mind, I'm a little amused by the clear line and stand taken by Jan Swaraj. So please be aware, if tomorrow RJD is in a position to form the government, where would you be? Would you support it from outside?
Definitely not. Our leader has made it clear since day one that there will be no post-poll alliances. And initially also he stated that before the election we will also not go into any alliance. And let me make a small comment on what JVC initially started, that the high polling numbers should not be taken into consideration because of the denominator effect. I humbly disagree with you, sir, because the Pravasis of Bihar, because the dates of the Chhath Puja coincided with the polling dates. I think the Pravasis, because I lead the Delhi unit, the Pravasis, I have interacted with them, I have gone on the ground, and they are in a state of distress that for 10 to 15,000 rupees we have to leave our family behind, we have to move out of our own house and go into different states just for a job of 10 to 15,000. The Pravasis have come back this time, and on the 81 seats wherein you showed that a possible swing is expected, I firmly believe that the Pravasi X factor will come into play. And I'm not agreeing with the 8 to 10 polls which are showing over here, because in the past also we have seen not only 5 to 10, 14 polls stated 4 so far hua hi nahi.
Okay, Mr. Prashant Kishore has always been a strategist.
Yeah, what is he saying?
What is he saying about the seats that you are winning?
No, he has made it clear. See, the beauty of Jan Swaraj has been that we have been very strong on the forefront in terms of transparency. He has said either we'll अर्श पे होंगे या फर्श पे? आपके इंटरव्यू में यही बात बोली थी। तो ये बात हम our whole campaign has been centered around the people of Bihar.
फर्श पे जब तक कैंपेन था सब समझ में आता है। मैं कह रही हूँ अब वोट पड़ चुके हैं, कैंपेन खत्म हो गया है। What is your analysis? Where are you winning seats?
I am very sturdy on the fact that there is a strong undercurrent, which is, and the X factor behind that undercurrent is the Pravasi and the 51%
undercurrent.
That is the youth.
Do you believe?
And I believe that will go in our favor.
देखिए undercurrent to overcurrent to, but this is where I feel that more than having more journalism in science, there ought to be more science in journalism. Let me explain. अभी आप conjecture पे जा रहे हैं कि भाई वोट ज़्यादा पड़ा नहीं पड़ा. You know the total number of votes that have been polled, right? You know the total number of votes that were polled in the last election. You knew the number of voters eligible vote in the last election. Just add 65 lakhs to that and find out whether it's a denominator effect or not. Why have you not done it? And point number two, I appreciate the fact that
mathematics नहीं आती है हमें,
नहीं,
और ना हमें econometrics आती है. I mean, just because you are a scientist and know math very well, you have no right to show us down. Math is not everybody's strong.
Emotions, not on mathematics.
हम emotion समझते हैं.
अरे ये क्या कह दिया? Emotion कौन सा?
Absolutely, the emotion of the people of Bihar who have to move out of their houses, they are in a state of
Something it is emotion versus arithmetic on the ground. So let me come back to the arithmetic that Anand Ranganathan likes. Bellwether seats. Let's look at the Bellwether seats.
These are very important.
And these
are very important because we are not talking about Bellwether for
9 Bellwether seats.
These Bellwether seats have gone the way the mandate has gone since 1977.
Just after emergency?
Yes.
Okay, 77.
From the Janata Party's victory to the NDA's victory in 2020, we have tracked these seats.
Okay.
Some of them 11 out of 11, some of them 10 out of 11, some of them 9 out of 11. So these are all proven Bellwether seats.
Okay, so you're saying if Saharsa, Kyoti, Munger, Sitamarhi, Khajoli, Raniganj, Sakara, Pipra and Triveniganj. These are the seats. Whoever wins more of these seats...
There 5 are being won by the BJP.
Yes, BJP is leading in 5 and JDU in 2. That is 7
What's the demography?
So demography changes, you know.
See, who has won them last time? Then only it makes sense.
Basically what happened, all these seats have been won by NDA last time. So what I'm saying is from 1977 till 2020, any 9 out of 11 elections, if these seats, like say if you take the case of Raniganj votes to that party which comes to power. JDU has an emblem.
I'll tell you one thing very simple. I went to Pipra. It is entirely on caste. All the upper caste were voting BJP and the others were not.
But it's CPI. But what caste is CPM?
I know.
CPIM.
But even then it's upper. Even then that is based on.
But then obviously,
CPI by itself is
no. The point, Sabha, that JVC is making is these are 9 Bellwether seats. Whoever wins the majority of these seats is likely to form the government. And this he has tested over 11 previous elections.
Okay.
In this election, 5 of these are advantage BJP. 2 of these are advantage JDU. 1 is advantage CPM. 1 is advantage RJD. That means 2 in the Mahagatbandhan.
Also is Janata Dal United is in the picture.
But you are saying advantage RJD. So let's एक तो दे दो भाई.
Yes.
एक तो दे दो. क्या कर रहे हो? So it is 7 and 2. 7 versus 2. So his prophecy is that if 7 are in favor of the NDA and these are Bellwether seats, the election is loaded in favor of the NDA, and that is his data point analysis. Do you object?
No, I'm not objecting. Just 2 caveats. Number 1,
just because you are Tamil friends.
We are always.
No, I think we just. I want to clarify about
just 1 second. 10 seconds. Just 2 caveats. Just 2 caveats here. 1, have you factored in Jan Swaraj, an alternative? And number 2, have you looked at the demographic profile of?
Yeah, we have looked at the demographic profile,
and that hasn't changed.
The fact of the matter is, these elections, these seats swing the way the winner goes. Okay, that's how it has been. So how can I factor in Jan Swaraj into it?
I went to Sitamarhi. And Sitamarhi is, there were two rallies on the day I travelled there, and Amit Shah was there in those rallies. I covered those rallies and interviewed the Home Minister there. And there I was talking to people on the ground, and they were very, very clear that this election, they have to vote, because this is the first election after Ayodhya. Sitamarhi is the Gad where Sita Maiya ka mandir promise has been made. That was one factor. The sugar mills in this area were promised during the 2024 Lok Sabha elections and delivered before the Bihar elections. People were expecting to get jobs back there, and that is why Sitamarhi, I definitely saw a complete mood towards the NDA. There were JDU candidates in one area, there was BJP candidates in two areas, and those constituencies.
Sitamarhi is where that guy who talked about samosa, right? Samosa was not given, so we were walking out of India Alliance. You remember that guy, Sunil Pinto?
Sunil, just
yes.
to add,
that was the constituency, I think.
Since I come from Sitamarhi, I like to...
Please, it's been very careful in planning. 3 highways are passing through Triveniganj.
Okay.
So when when BJP and NDA knows that, look, the advantages of the opposition, they make sure that the development goes through something so that they can wrench away.
वो कहते हैं ना, टेस्ट करके देखिए, शायद खाना पसंद आए.
Well, why don't you ask him? Now he's from Sitamarhi. He has something to say.
No, definitely, thank you. What I've witnessed is that there is one strong factor which is there on the ground. The present MP has tried to polarize, or like he has tried to stay away from his own obligations towards the public and try to create a divide amongst the public, stating ki, and I can't use those words, wherein on the call he stated that tum Sitamarhi ke log bahut hi raddi hain and all that thing. So I think people over there are discontented with the kind of behavior with the MP of the sitting NDA coalition.
That the BJP is facing in many areas, I believe,
because
that those who were sitting and got a ticket, though they have not delivered to their people. So many people on the ground saying, "Inko to hum sabak sikhayenge."
Exactly.
But
that's why
so that is why the transfer of votes is important. They want Nitish to come to power, but they are unhappy with the MP who they elected, which is a BJP MP. So will they go above that, that dislike for the MP and still vote for the Teer? Like they say, Teer hi Kamal hai, Kamal hi Teer hai. Now, is that reinforcing in the mind when they go into the polling booth that we're going to forget the 2024 person that we elected, and in 2025 we will elect for Nitish and the NDA? So that remains to be seen.
But
we need to see, but the one big talking point in this election has been the so-called friendly fights within the Mahagatbandhan. So let's pick up the 12 friendly fights that were happening, the bickers, and what happens because of that? There was Markatiya-Ganj, then there is Gaurapuram, Jale, then Bihar Sharif. All of these 4 seats, it's RJD versus Congress, RJD versus VIP, Congress versus Congress, RJD versus Congress. In all of these 4, you're saying the BJP is leading.
See, because what is happening is all these seats, if you take the case of Gaurapuram, I think, I don't know, VIP last minute.
Is that the one where Tejasvi tried to make the Muslim candidate sit down and he did not listen?
Yeah,
and then,
that was Jale.
VIP guys.
That was
Jale, okay.
This is where
Santosh Sahni, Mukesh Sahni's brother.
Mukesh Sahni, that is
Mukesh Sahni's brother.
This is
Mukesh Sahni. Last minute he withdrew.
A mockery, because, and that is the reason why people are not taking Mahagatbandhan seriously, especially the Gen Zs, because you are declaring somebody as the candidate for a deputy CM, and then you're going up and contesting with that same person.
No, but
so what sort of a strong coalition are you coming up?
Can I say something, since having known people who've spoken to Mukesh Sahni?
Well, let's look at this. Congress versus RJD in Vaishali. In Kahalgaon, it is RJD versus Congress.
And there is a BJP rebel also standing here.
And there is Chainpur, where Congress versus CPI. This is Raja Pakar, where it is Congress versus CPI. Sultanganj, RJD versus Congress, RJD versus VIP in Kargahar. And these are the 6 seats where the JDU is going to make it, because there is internal fight. And Sanjay Jha, I just want to ask you, has it been counterproductive? Because 4 BJP wins, 6 JDU and 1 HAM wins because there is a Congress versus CPI or Congress versus RJD kind of fight that's going on.
Navika, let me answer you in 2 points. Point number 1, you are forgetting the elephant in the room, that the NDA itself is not getting the transfer of votes across Bihar. People in JDU know that the BJP is not backing Nitish Kumar explicitly. The JDU transfer to the BJP is not happening, and neither is it happening from BJP due to JDU. Also, don't forget, Chirag Paswan and JDU hangover of the last election is persisting at a very strong level.
I'm asking you about your... उनके घर में क्या गलत है मत देखो, आपके घर में क्या लुट रहा है वो देखो.
I'm answering that. Where does a friendly fight happen, Navika? It happens in a place where both the parties which are in a friendly fight know that the aggregate sum is big enough to defeat whichever opposition is in the play. So it's a calculated risk. It's a calculated
very
risk.
Scientific. Rohan Gupta, please respond. Congress works this out scientifically.
See, this is really a new science where something called friendly fight helps the Mahagatbandhan. Sanjay bhai, धन्य है आप. ये कैसे फ्रेंडली फाइट क्या होता है? एक तो या तो फाइट होता है या फ्रेंडली होता है. ये फ्रेंडली फाइट कहाँ से हो गया भाई साहब? मुझे बताइए वो फ्रेंडली फाइट में जब कांग्रेस या राहुल गांधी फ्रेंडली फाइट है, सुन लीजिए ना, ये फ्रेंडली फाइट कुछ नहीं होता. ये है बॉस. आप मुझे बताइए वो फ्रेंडली फाइट में राहुल गांधी जब कैंपेन करने जाएंगे तब आरजेडी को सीएम का कैंडिडेट डिक्लेयर करेंगे क्या वहां पे? सी यू आर क्रिएटिंग कंफ्यूजन इन माइंड ऑफ इलेक्टोरेट. आप कैसे बात करते हैं? दिस क्लियरली शोज द वे एनडीए हैज फॉट दिस इलेक्शन कलेक्टिवली. देयर वर एप्रीहेंशंस बिकॉज एलजेपी हैज बीन एडेड. देयर विल बी फ्रिक्शंस, बट दैट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एनडीए एंड महागठबंधन.
Well, on the issue of friendly fight, Sanjay Jha, I have a friendly fight with the Congress party. They have banned me. मेरी friendly fight भी ठीक करा दो भाई. इतनी friendly है तो fight कहाँ है? तो फिर करा दो ना. अरे, what are you saying, Sanjay Jha? What are you saying? But ladies and gentlemen, as I come to the close of this show, I only want to tell you, it's not all done because we are basing all our numbers on exit polls and projections that have been made by JVC. But many things happen in between. Every time, every number and the mood of the voter is not scientifically recorded. What are the 5 things that can actually flip the election results completely away from what we are predicting so far? 1, record voter turnout of 66.9% in Bihar. That could flip the elections. If MGB's competitive freebie woos voters, well, they've also given out a lot of freebies, including 3 crore jobs. Will that make a difference with the Gen Z that they are talking about? Third factor, if Congress does well, we are all assuming that they will not do well because they were not seen on the ground. But what if they do? Miracles happen. And they defy the exit polls. That could also flip the results. Chances of probability, well, I'm not the one to give you those. Anand Ranganathan is making a model. We'll present it to you very soon. And number 5, if voter adhikar anti-SIR campaign resonates on the bottom undercurrent, well, who knows what could change? And if Nitish Kumar's results drag down the NDA alliance because of health concerns that have been so vociferously talked about by the opposition, well, things could change. Who knows? Because at the end of the day, when people vote, they vote because public sab janti hai. And public kuch bhi badal sakti hai. प्यार से भी, गुस्से से भी. Public खुश है या नाराज? We will know only tomorrow. So join us here at the Election News headquarters on Times Now. We'll be here from 6 a.m. to 12 midnight, giving you what really happened in Bihar on the ground and with the netas. Thank you very much for joining me on this special broadcast.